Seems really good. Cyril will be a very positive influence on the group, I think, if we need him. Okay, so let's start talking about what brings your characters peace. And I don't mean, we talked about the connections and the key connections and things like that, but what is it for um, Ruby? Okay, what is it that brings her that feeling of peace where, just like for some people it could be lying in the field and watching clouds scudding by overhead. Um,
Hmm.
what is it for Ruby that brings her that just feeling of calm and peace?
Um, I'd like to say, thinking of her youth when she's with her best friend, I think that would give her some calm. Being in her favourite spot on the park, I'd say just being a kid, thinking about those times brings her peace. But in the now, I would say having someone close that she trusts. So Loveday would be that for her right now. And fear is
Oh,
definitely, yeah, fear is kicking in for Ruby at the minute following the events of last episode.
she's gonna get back to the hotel
I know.
blithely oblivious, and her whole world's gonna fall apart. That's
Oh,
that's oh, that's terrifying.
it is.
Okay, and then let's go to Loveday then. What brings Loveday a feeling of peace? She's probably frantically scrabbling and reaching out for peace right now.
Yeah, it's not a huge amount of peace to be had right now. Um, it would probably be being on a horse in the bucolic English countryside, riding down a lane, grass waving, trees overhead, soft sunlight, just with nowhere really to go and nowhere to be. Just peace and quiet all around her. But she doesn't find a lot of that outside of England, so probably just having a very strong cup of coffee or a stiff drink with a very good friend like Ruby of an evening or quietly in the morning.
Okay, super. And how about Michal O'Sullivan? How does he find what kind of peace does he get?
I think Michal likes manual labour, feeling of a job well done. He grew up on a farm, so I think that sense of being useful, you're only really valued if you're useful on a farm. He's seen dogs getting not fed, so I think he feels safe and valued and a part of things when the job's getting done. Um, yeah, a bit of satisfaction of having moved things along physically. I think he finds
So
that
he's
attractive.
kind of a sensate, earthy type. Just get the work done, and it brings him a feeling of peace.
Yeah, yeah. I think with a lot of people like Michal, that comes as well from kind of a not being emotionally literate enough to go any other ways.
Cool. Okay.
Service is his love language.
And speaking of people who are somewhat lacking peace, how how did you know it was you, Florence? What brings Florence a feeling of peace?
I think Florence enjoys activities that are sociable but a bit intellectual. So I think she would probably enjoy like a book club with a friend over a cup of tea, or maybe like the Sudoku or something. So like that completion phenomenon. Yeah, I think that brings her a lot of peace.
So
I don't think she's going to
crossword.
get that now. Uh,
No, okay, but that's good. It's when everything wraps up and there's something's finished and there's a sense of, as you say, intellectual achievement. Okay, cool. And Valentine, is there any peace to be had for Valentine Rue?
Oh, we. Well, uh, Valentine spends a lot of time, surrounded by books now, lots of indoors, but she loves nothing more when she needs to be at peace to be outdoors, particularly walking through the fields. It reminds her of some happy times she spent as a child on holiday in the south of France. And so that's what she enjoys doing. It's hard in New York City now, but she goes to Central Park sometimes and walks around there and finds it very peaceful in the middle of a city.
Okay, super. So, I'm not sure how much peace you're all going to find um, over the next couple of days in Peru. Things seem to be on a bit of a escalating path, but we'll see. We'll see. There might be some peace coming shortly, as long as it's not the eternal peace. Um, so yes, hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to Removal of Masks. We're doing our playthrough of Masks of Nyarlathotep, the fantastic Call of Cthulhu scenario from Chaosium. Um, we're in the middle of the Peru prologue. Um, the characters, our investigators, are in a little bit of a sticky situation, but I'm sure there's light ahead. Okay, so anyway, let's get into it and let's see how things go, because all I've got in my head is what's going to happen to Loveday. So, does anyone want to give us a 30-second cliff notes on where we left off last time? I don't think we need to go into the full recap of where we were and all the things that were going on, but maybe a 30-second recap of where we left Mihal and our other intrepid investigators who are out and around the streets of Puno.
Is that for me
Maybe
then? No. Good.
it could be you, or it could be, I
No.
think, Florence, who's kind of keeping an eye on Mihal
Okay.
covertly down the street. Either one of you could give us a quick update on that.
Okay. The three of us went to visit a lady. I forget her name. We could put that in there.
Naira?
Naira.
That's right.
Who wasn't there, but we then talked to the neighbour. And while we were going into the house, I saw Mihal chasing someone outside and decided to leave him to that because I don't actually understand what was going on, but he seemed to be attempting to be sneaky, so I left him to it, and we went inside to try and get some information, and that's where we were when we left. Did we go
That's right.
further?
You were just leaving to go to
Just leaving.
find Nera, who you found out was actually staying on an island in the Lake Titicaca. And as you came out, you kind of got another glance of Mihal moving on up the street. Kind of like, let's just keep moving, pretend we don't see him. Wonder what he's doing back there. And Mihal, what was it that you were doing?
Following some suspicious characters.
Very good.
I spotted these two in the hotel, and they were following the suspicious characters that I'm here with, so I followed them.
And it was, if I remember, it was a middle-aged woman and her what seemed to be her teenage son.
Yeah,
Yeah, super shifty. Yeah.
yeah, and that's all I got so far.
And that was the end. I seem to remember Mihal bracing them, approaching them, and confronting them on a street corner.
Yeah, we're face to face now. Yeah,
That's it. Yeah. So what do you think you're doing? Okay. And Loveday, where did we leave you? I can't quite recall.
Well, I was feeling very much the effects of the altitude sickness, so I went to have a nice lie down, as any sensible person would. And then a very non-suspicious Spanish voice called out to me something about room service, so I got up and I went over to the door and I opened it, and it wasn't room service at all.
No, it was Di Mendoza. Okay. So I'm going to do a very quick cutaway. And where we're going to cut to is once again our police officer, our New York police officer. Okay. But this time, he's sitting at a desk in the bullpen. People milling around, going about their business, passing him by, throwing files on each other's desks, giving a quick holler. Oh yeah, make sure you looked after that one. There's a suspect being escorted by, but it all just seems to rotate, move around him as he sits in a little island. Maybe he's at peace. Maybe he's just frustrated. He holds a photo in his hand. He looks down at a pile of papers. He starts shuffling and shifting some things around. But again, his eyes just get drawn back to this photo. Gives a little shake of his head. What are you doing? What is it all about? Well, your friends aren't talking, that's for sure. Don't think you're going to talk either. We kind of pan around as he leans back into his chair and looks up at the ceiling. You can see he's really kind of turning things over in his mind. And in his hand we see a photo of Jackson Elias. And he sighs and tosses it down on the desk. Okay, Jimmy, back to interrogation 2. See if they can crack this time. Then we cut back to a hotel in Puno in Peru, 1921. It's a kind of muggy day. The altitude, it's not enjoyable. It affects most people, but it doesn't affect the man standing outside the hotel door. He gives a little rap. Tack, 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 tack. Room service. And he waits. The door opens. A young woman stands there. And for a moment, she just looks a little tired and worn. She swings the door in, and her eyes widen. There's a look of recognition and then fear as Di Mendoza lunges in through the door. Now, Loveday, Di Mendoza is going to try to grab you. So he's grappling for you. Okay? You have choices. In hand-to-hand combat, you get to choose if you're going to fight back, which means you make a brawl check to see if you can beat his brawl and do him damage, punch him or kick him, and I'd let you describe what you do in this fight back. Your other option is to try and dodge, to evade his grasp, get away from him, make distance. Okay. Now that action doesn't preclude anything else you might do, like calling out or shouting or screaming or anything like that. But that is the very minimum that we need now. Is you need to choose if you're going to fight back or dodge as he tries to grab you.
Can I ask just a couple of questions that Loveday would already know the answer to before I make a decision?
Go for it.
So what floor is my room on?
It will be, so using European, British, Irish terminology, it would be the second floor. So not the ground floor, not the first floor, the second floor.
And he's lunged into the room at me from the doorway, yes, just in a straight line.
Absolutely. Okay. Into the room, straight at you. You're right there in front of him. He's just coming for you, grabbing at you.
So my first course of action was going to be to try and run away, but if I'm on the second story, I'm not getting out of the window successfully. So I would like to try and dodge while screaming at the absolute top of my lungs and make a break for the door if it's possible.
Okay. So if you can dodge him, you might be able to get around him, evade him, and as he comes at you, you might be able to duck past him, okay? But we're going to go for a brawl. And he's gonna try a brawl. He's not trying any maneuvers or anything like that now. He's not doing anything complicated. He's just lunging at you, trying to grab you. So go ahead and roll your dodge. As he comes for you through the door. Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Tell me,
Yes.
what does this look like as the Mendoza kind of fluffs his? He seems to. It's almost like he's a little bit surprised that you just opened the door and stood there ready for him to grab you. So there's almost a. Am I really doing this? And then he goes for it. So he kind of telegraphs what he's going to do. He lunges at you and fluffs it a little bit. And tell us what it looks like. How do you evade?
So I am, as he lunges for me, just going to basically hit the ground like a sack of potatoes as fast as I possibly can and hope his momentum takes him over me so I can then sort of scramble forwards and just like mad on my hands and knees for the door, screaming all the while.
Okay, fantastic. It works. He lunges at you. He completely misses you. You drop and roll toward the door. Give me a luck check, please. Because I'm mean.
Oh,
It's okay. You got
I
it?
failed. Yeah.
Okay. You duck. You kind of scramble. You try and go almost between his legs. You kind of try and roll, trip him, maybe get out the door. You do not get out the door. Okay. You kind of end up jammed between his legs and the door frame. You're kind of scrambling, trying to push yourself out. But no joy in actually escaping the room. But those piercing shrill shrieks are surely going to bring some attention your way. Okay, so top of the round. Now, Luis de Mendoza's dexterity is 75. Okay, and yours is 60. So that means every round he's going to go before you. Okay. But what we do is we say what we're both going to do, and then we do the actions in order of whoever's going first. So, de Mendoza, he's going to try a maneuver this round. He's going to try to grab you. Okay. So what's going to happen is if he succeeds on his grab, you're going to need to make a strength versus strength roll. Now, with a maneuver, you can still try and evade. You can still try and dodge. But the main thing is a maneuver will do no damage to you. Okay? Some maneuvers will, but this one will do no damage. This is purely he's just focusing on getting a hold of you. Okay? So what would Loveday do as he kind of realizes you're kind of down there between his leg and the door, and he's trying to just grab down for you and haul you up to get control of you? What are you gonna do?
I would attempt to dodge again and now be screaming, "What do you want? What do you want? What do you want?"
Okay. Okay, good stuff. So he's gonna make his grab, and he rolled a 90 anyway, so I'm gonna say that's a miss. So will you roll your dodge anyway, just to see how you get by getting out of the way, trying to get out the door, etc.
Yes. Hard success.
Okay,
Love that
so
feeling.
Loveday, you are ducking around, rolling around on the floor,
fast. Whirling.
scrambling quickly side to side, screaming, shrieking all the time. You hear a door slam open in the corridor outside. Top of the round again. Mendoza, he's kind of looking frustrated now. So again, he's going for a brawl. He's just gonna basically he's almost throwing himself at you. He's gonna try and body slam you. And he's looking to actually do some damage to subdue you. Are you still dodging, or are you going to try and fight back?
I think I had a vague impression of what he did to the German fellow, and I've shot him once and it's done absolutely nothing. And I don't have a weapon, so I'm just going to keep trying to dodge.
Okay.
Fail.
Okay. So this time he does. He just basically he throws himself at you, and he slams down on you. By the way, Ellie, and we will apply it from here on out. You're currently suffering from altitude sickness. You did remind me of that, but I've forgotten to apply your penalty dice on all your physical activities. Bearing in mind, Mihal, you got to remember that you also have a penalty dice on all physical activities. Okay.
Yep.
So he has slammed down onto you with 4 points of damage. Ellie, he uses his body weight, just drops it down onto you to stop you scrambling around and rolling around, etc. And
So that's 4 hit points I take off, yeah?
Yes, please. And he has you kind of, he's on top of you. He doesn't have you grabbed or secured, so you could probably still try and scramble away next round. But as he's on top of you, you see his mouth open, and that strange maw opens up, and the teeth start protruding out of his face, and it's almost like his jaws extending, and his face is turning almost inside out as a second mouth starts to come outward. But he's not coming down to try and bite you. Instead, there's something inside his mouth, and it wriggles and then shoots out, leaps from his mouth at your face. And as this happens, the last thing you see before we cut away is you see a large white maggot leap from his mouth toward your face. And we're gonna cut away to Mihal O'Sullivan on the street corner. Mihal, you have just approached these two and confronted them.
Did I confront them yet?
Yeah, you said, I woke up and I say something like, I can't remember exactly the words, it was something like, what are you doing, or what are you doing here, or why are you following us, something. So I'll leave it to you. You start with the what you're saying, and we'll pick up from there.
I think I'll just go with Hewer.
The woman, eyes widen, looks at you really intensely. Are you crazy? Get away. On the street here, you want to endanger innocent people. Get away and do not.
Where can we
This
talk?
is too public. And, sorry, did you say something?
Yeah, I said, where can we talk?
Talk. Don't worry. We will find you later.
No, hold on.
You can see that the kid is actually kind of, he's looking really twitchy, like he wants to grab you or go for you, but she has a hand on his chest.
Okay, I'll put my hand on his arm. Oh, Mihal, what is Mihal doing? Right.
Okay, great. So what is your dex, Mihal? Because we're now in combat as well.
Oh, great. Good. Sorry, I rolled like an idiot there. I didn't know if I was supposed to roll.
As Mihal confronts two Karasiri on the street.
Really? Is that what they are?
Well, that's what you see now. You reach out, you grab this kid's arm, and next thing his face just distorts, and teeth. All you see teeth coming out of his face, and his mouth coming at you. And the woman also, her face starts to distort, and right there out in public in front of the general population, she's gonna go for you. Mihal, what is your dex?
It's 65.
65. Okay. And I was not expecting to fight right now, so give me 1 second.
No one was. No one was.
You never touch the kid.
This has come out of nowhere.
Okay. What I will say, down the street, Florence. You said I'll give that kind of last look back over my shoulder, and then as we go, and then I'm gonna leave Mihal to it and let him do whatever he's doing. Okay? Well, you see Mihal reach out and grab some teenage boy by the arm. Okay, and I'm gonna give you a spot hidden check to see if you notice what happens before you just walk away.
You better hope you see nothing, otherwise you're in that fight.
A failure.
Baylor, okay, good stuff.
So I didn't
So-
see.
Oh, nothing.
You did not see, no. So that is very good. Okay, so Mihal, your dex is 65. Okay. Okay. This one's dex is also 65, and her dex is 55. So I'm gonna give you the initiative here, because you kind of with the initiator, you reached out and you've grabbed this kid, and it starts to change, and its face starts to transform and become this strange maw. So the first thing actually I'm gonna get you to do is roll a sand check for me, please.
Hard success.
Hard success. Okay. This does not phase you particularly. You've seen nastier, worse things. You've seen people, getting maimed and killed, and you've seen action. So you don't have any kind of horror effect or anything like that. So what would you like to do?
I would like to shout, "Holy Mary, Mother of Christ!" Grab my mother's rosary beads and start heading back the way I came, ASAP.
Okay, turn and flee.
That was what I meant to say.
Okay, good stuff.
Roman Catholic turn and
Holy
flee.
Mother of Mary, Mother of Christ. And you turn and sprint off down the street.
Well, okay, can I go backwards? I want to see these people like run back away, kind of.
Yeah,
I'm not going to turn my back on them,
you kind of dodging backward, and then you're going to sprint off, right?
if possible. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to base this on a dodge check. They are both going to attempt to grab you. Okay. And I'm going to have you roll a single dodge to see how well you're kind of evading that attack. And this is for the kid. And I will tell you, he's going for a grab. They're both going for a grab.
Do I roll?
Yeah, please.
Okay, and I get a penalty dice as well, by the way. Just in case.
You do.
Hard success.
You get a hard success.
Hallelujah!
And that was with the penalty dice.
Oh, sorry, how do you do a penalty dice? I just clicked
Okay,
on dodge.
so now you click bonus penalty. So
Oh, yeah,
you've got
okay.
a 23 there. When you click bonus penalty, it's going to roll the d10 again. And so so that's a 93.
Oh, I'm in mother's
If it was a
rosary beads,
bonus
isn't it?
dice, you'd take whichever one was lower. But with the penalty dice, you take whichever one's higher. So you got a 93. So it's a fail. So the kid grabs you. Okay. No damage, but he has a hold of you now. And the mother, or the female Karsiri, does not. She kind of lunges for you, but you're quick moving and kind of scrambling sideways and trying to get away. Successfully gets you out of her way.
Well, I suppose I tried to grab him first, so fair's fair.
So, yeah, you kind of put your hand on his arm. He's lunged. He's grabbed a hold of you, and he's basically trying to hold you and control you until his mum can get a hold of you too, and then they're gonna bite you. So, do you want to? You're gonna need to give me a strength versus strength. So you're gonna roll your strength, and he's gonna roll his strength, and we're gonna see who succeeds.
Failure.
And he succeeds. So yes, you do not break free.
He's strong.
He has a hold of you, and he's got you, and he's trying to get arms around you so that on the next round, this mouth that's protruding out of his face now is going to be able to bite you. Okay. So then that's the kid done, the mum done. You've tried to take your action. I'm gonna give Ruby and Valentine listen checks. Florence has looked back, seen Mihal doing something a bit weird. She's kind of disregarded it. But let's see what happens when Ruby and Florence give a listen check. So listen, Ruby very alert, and Valentine not so alert. Okay, so Ruby, you hear this yell from Mihal O'Sullivan of "Holy Mary, Mother of God," and the accent immediately. It's like, wait, that's Mihal. Where is he? What do you do?
I instantly tell the girls that I've heard.
Just go on in character. Go.
Did you guys just hear that? Because I definitely heard Mihal screaming.
No?
No,
Did not hear
I
anything?
didn't hear.
Nothing. We need to go check. We need
Oh, let's
trust
go
me on
check.
this. We need to go check.
Oh, all right.
we
So
all-
where
Okay.
was he?
Jesse is Jackson's. What? You say I heard Mihal? I thought I heard something. And he kind of turns around. You're both a good way. You're all a good way down the street now. But as you turn around, you can definitely see there's some kind of commotion up at the top of the street. In fact, you hear a woman scream and start running. You see her start running down the street away from where the commotion is. Florence, that's where Mihal was when you saw him up there at the top of the street.
Well, that's where I saw Mihal. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
Jackson's like, you saw Mihal? Okay, and he starts following on behind you. Okay, Mihal, top of the round. So this creature is going to try and bite you. Are you going to try and make a strength check to break free again? Or anything else? You can do something else if you want.
I mean, I'm tempted to try and get the gun out and shoot him right
You
in
can
his
try that,
maggot.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's attempt to hold him off, get the gun out, and go for a facial shot.
Okay, now, if you had a gun ready, pulling a trigger is faster than doing something physical, so you would get plus 50 to your dex, so you'd definitely be going first. But as you don't have a gun ready, he's trying to bite you, you're trying to pull out a gun and shoot him, okay? So I'm going to say you kind of both go at the same time. He's going to get his bite attack in, okay? So, and you're not fighting back or dodging, so we're just going for an attack. He's going for his bite. That is... he actually doesn't need to roll. Apologies. He just automatically gets the bite because he has you grabbed. Okay? So his mouth just
no.
reaches out and attaches to you. Okay?
Like where?
So...
Oh,
it is... Okay. So he's attached to you, and he is going to deal you damage at the end of this round. Okay?
Can I ask where he is he biting my mouth? Is he on my?
No. His mouth it's just latched onto your chest.
Well, I'm not likely to miss him at least if I get a chance.
Most likely not going to miss. Exactly. You're at point blank range, which gives you a bonus dice when you're attacking.
So what do I do?
So you're going to roll your your handgun firearms.
So that's under combat. Firearms. Okay, skills.
Yeah, it should be. It should
there it
actually
is.
under
Yeah,
combat.
see.
If you have a gun, if we added it to your sheet right, you should have the gun set up under combat. Yeah, Model P8 Luger.
Yeah, so I can click on
so
that
you
as
could
well.
just click. You could just click the gun and it should shoot. Yeah.
Failure.
Okay.
Oh wait, with
now,
the bonus dice.
you have a bonus dice and a penalty dice, so they cancel each other out. Because you have altitude sickness, Michal.
You just
You're-
had
you're
to
shaking,
grab
you're
the boy's
fumbling.
arm.
Gun fires off. You kind of remember this is gritty realism. This is not pulp, right? Your hand is trembling. You manage to get the gun out. You almost shoot your own toe off, basically, but you don't. It's not a fumble. But yeah, you let off a shot and it hits the ground at your feet. The female Karasiri is also grabbing at you now. Okay.
Good.
And so we're gonna roll for her,
We were worried about Loveday.
and she grabs you.
We haven't even got that yet.
It's all
So
going
she
on.
I
grabs
believe
you.
I'm not dying first.
Okay, and so the damage that the Karasiri do is pretty horrible. So we are going to roll 1d10, 1d10, and 1d4. Okay.
That's what they're gonna do to
But
me.
that's one round. So we're gonna start with 1d10. It's 1d10 strength first. Okay.
Am I doing that?
I am rolling it. 2
Okay.
points. So it sucks 2 points off your strength.
Oh, okay. Do I edit that?
Yes, you can edit your strength. So you'll need to turn on edit mode on the sheet.
Okay.
It sucks 5 points off your constitution.
Oh dear.
Oh, sorry, I'm doing rolls here because I don't know how to edit. Oh, there it is.
And it sucks 1 point off your size.
What? Okay. Small. Okay.
Because it's basically sucking body mass away
Okay,
from
that
you.
part I don't mind. That's fine.
I thought he was getting shorter or something.
Okay. So let's we gotta keep a track. That's 2 strength, 5 con, and 1 size that you've lost. This can come back over time, okay? If you survive. Okay.
Okay.
Will help, I think.
Michal, I cannot understate to you how much this hurts. Okay, this is your body fat is being sucked from your body through a hole in your chest. Okay, and we're gonna cut back to Loveday. Loveday, the maggot comes for your face. It lands kind of here on the side of your face, slips off onto your shoulder, and it burns. It's acidic.
Oh gosh.
It leaves a nasty kind of red welt on your face as it lands kind of on your shoulder and starts trying to climb back up your face. Okay. What would you like to do this turn? Because I know what de Mendoza's doing. I know what's happening with him.
I'm not really sure what there is to do. I'm going to scream absolute bloody murder and just sort of like be trying to wriggle away from de Mendoza, which I mean, maybe try and knee him in the crotch. I don't know if that would do anything to
Okay.
a Karasiri,
Yeah,
but it's
give
worth a shot. And simultaneously
It's
just be
worth a
sort of
try.
doing this at my shoulder, like, ah!
Okay. So give me a brawl check. Brawl
Oh, yeah.
25%.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh no.
Grand.
Roll your penalty dice just in case.
yeah.
It could
Definitely
be
it's not high enough.
Because but with a 90, if you roll a 10, it's a fumble. Okay, so it's a 90 or 70, it's a 90. Okay, so you flail around, you're trying to kick him off you, you're trying to knee him, you're doing whatever you can, but I think you're distracted. You're more flailing at this creature that's on you. And he is just shifting himself around, trying to keep a hold of you, trying to get control of you, and then he is kicked from behind. He is kicked off you, and a voice shouts out, "De Mendoza, you fool! What are you doing?" And Larkin basically boots De Mendoza away from you.
Yes, Larkin! Lad.
Okay. He kind of Mendoza spins around, snarls, kind of comes up to a crouch, and you see he's about to leap at Larkin. Larkin steps between you and him. Give me give me no. You're more focused on what's going on with this maggot that's trying to crawl on you. I think. So all I say is he steps between you and De Mendoza, and you hear him in a really kind of intense, commanding tone. Just order, De Mendoza. Stop now. Reaches out and he grabs De Mendoza by the scruff of the neck and starts trying to drag him away from you. Okay. De Mendoza doesn't attack him. He stops. He kind of starts backing away. Ha! Ha! Snarling and clawing at Larkin's arm, trying to get it off him. Meanwhile, this maggot is going to try to crawl up onto your face again. Okay. What would you like to do about that, Loveday?
I would like to just sort of scramble onto all fours as fast as I can so it falls off me, and then grab my shoe and just smack it as hard as I can.
Okay. It is okay. So it's attempting to crawl into position. Okay. You are attempting to attack it. I'm gonna go with you've one penalty dice because of the altitude sickness. So go ahead and give me a brawl, but with the penalty dice, please.
A failure, but not a fumble.
Okay, so you basically you're trying to beat it off yourself, but it's not. It's right there. It gets up. It's by your mouth. It's on your face. You can feel your skin burning as it tries to find a way to push itself into your mouth. Next round, it is going to attempt its inter-body maneuver as it pushes its way in and forces its way into your mouth. Okay. Meanwhile, Larkin is dragging De Mendoza off you and is basically hoofing him, kicking him, and throws him out into the corridor. Get away! What are you doing, you damn fool! This is not what's supposed to be happening now. Okay, I'm back with Mihal and our other investigators. Folks, you're running up the street and you hear yells and people are kind of the couple of people who were on the street are all now screaming and running in various directions. They're scattering away, and you see Mihal kind of pressed up against a wall by this small, scrawny little teenage boy who's kind of got his face buried in Mihal's chest, and he's kind of got a grip on him and is holding him. And Mihal doesn't seem to be able to break free. And there's a woman as well. Also looks she looks like local. She's not white-skinned Caucasian like you've been told that all the Karasiri are, but you can see her face now. And her face has that kind of protruding mouth, that kind of horrific look. Would you please all roll sanity checks as you're running up the street toward these creatures? Toward these creatures.
Fail.
Florence.
Where the sanity again?
She's not doing okay
Oh.
recently. She's having a bad time.
Oh, we're not having a good time.
Oh no.
No, it's an
We just
all-round
had to
bad
help,
time.
didn't we?
Okay, so Florence, Ruby, and Valentine, none of you are expecting to see what you see. Even those of you who've seen this before in the university. I think probably because you've been told that these are kind of white Caucasians and they're pale skinned, and seeing just a Peruvian woman on a street corner turn into one of these creatures and attack one of your friends, it's such a shock to your system. Everyone roll me 1d6 please, and that is the amount of sanity you lose. Okay, Ruby 1. Morven Florence loses 1. And Saorla. Okay. Saorla, you're
6.
going to take 6 off your sanity.
Oh boy.
And we are going to have a temporary insanity, I'm afraid.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Okay, I will come back to you, Saorla. In the meantime, Florence and Ruby, what would you like to do as you're kind of running toward Mihal? You see these two this one creature. You're guessing the other one is as well, but you're seeing this creature kind of going to bite Mihal. What would you like to do?
I'm going to reach into my handbag and get out my gun and point it at the little boy attacking Mihal.
Okay.
I hope you're a good shot.
Yeah.
Hopefully
How
better than
far away
any
are we?
old women.
Okay. So you pull out your gun. Are you gonna try and snap a shot off now with a penalty dice, or are you gonna wait till the next round and be calm and ready and take your shot?
I'll wait until the next round.
Okay. And Ruby.
I'm just screaming. And then I feel like the shakes start taking over my body. And fear kicks in. And I just instinctively hide behind Florence while she takes a gun out.
Okay. Cool stuff. So you start screaming and then take cover. Okay. And I'm gonna say that you hear a crack of gunfire from behind you as
Oof.
he doesn't fumble, which is good. As Jackson Elias takes a shot at the woman who's lunging for Mihal. Okay, so we're gonna go top of the round, Mihal. So let's see, dexterity wise, who's got the highest dexterity out of all of you now?
Me, I think. I've got
Oh yeah, you
85.
would, Ruby. Are you doing anything, or are you basically staying undercover and
I've gone into a state of
trying to
shock,
stay
I
safe?
think.
Okay, just trying to stay safe. This is horrifying. Not getting any closer. Okay. After that, is anyone in the 70s?
I've got 80.
Okay, 80. So Florence, you be next. You were going to take a shot, were you?
I'm going to take a shot at the...
In fact,
the-
you've 130 because you have a ready pistol.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, you absolutely go first.
Okay.
And who are you going to shoot at? The boy who's on Mihal? Yeah.
I'm going to shoot at the boy who's on Mihal, yeah.
Okay. Give us a handgun check, please.
Don't fumble.
Is that the one under weapons?
Yeah, on your yeah,
So it's under combat, the one under weapon.
under combat, the weapon on. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Mother Mary.
Yes. Yes, Florence.
Okay, so your model 1913 automatic handgun. You just took the one single shot, right? Because otherwise you start getting penalty dice if you're rolling multiple shots. Okay.
Yeah, let's stick with one good shot.
That's a good shot. 7 points of damage. So yes, the boy he loses his grip. He falls off away from Mihal, and recoils at the damage. Okay, and we're gonna say Jackson does not go next. Mihal, it's you and the boy. The boy is falling away from you. He's not acting. He's not attacking this round. What would you like to do?
I want to get out of here, but I got a pistol ready, and I don't like this cage. Okay, I think I'll just shoot the child. Yeah.
You shoot the terrifying monster. Could you roll a sand check for me, Mihal, please? Now that
Oh.
the horror of what these things are sets in.
Hey. Nothing ruffles me, Hall. He's seen it all.
Okay. You did roll previously, didn't you?
What do you mean?
Just,
earlier on,
it's,
yeah.
It's a
I think
second
when I
one.
first saw it.
Yeah, so it's a second one. So, there's only a certain amount of sanity you can lose from seeing creatures like this in a given period of time. But if you're not losing the sanity, seeing more of them is a potential to cause more sanity damage. Okay, so you take a shot. Go for it. Shoot the monster.
Okay, come back.
The tiny monster, the
We're
smaller
not
monster.
shooting some innocent
Oh,
child.
me Hall.
You've got a penalty dice and a bonus dice because it is point blank range, but yeah, they cancel each other out, so it's a miss again. Take another shot and miss. Okay. Keep track of how many shots are in the gun and how many you've used, please. Okay.
Okay.
And
Can I spend a point
Valentine.
of luck to try to change that? Sorry.
oh, sorry. You could use 27 points of luck to get that down to a 55.
We'll leave that one alone, I think.
Yeah. Let me see the previous
Spend a point
one.
of luck, sorry.
The previous one, Mihal, where you took the shot the first time. Oh, I can't find it. Did you shoot the previous time?
I certainly tried.
Ah, there it is. That was 60. That you could have. For the last one, you could have spent 9 points of luck. But just do keep that in mind that you can spend luck to improve your skill checks. Okay, Valentine. You are going to roll a d10 for me, please. No, first you make an int check. My bad.
Oh, intelligence.
Yeah. And this is the intelligence check that you do not want to pass. You fully comprehend the horror of what you see. These creatures, you've been told what they are. They are fat-sucking vampires. They're some evil, malevolent creatures, and they're trying to kill your friend. You fully comprehend and understand this. You have taken 6 sanity damage. You got an 8 on your d10. You are going to go into physical hysterics or an emotional outburst. You are incapacitated with laughter, crying, screaming, etc. Your choice, for 1d10 rounds.
Guys,
Please be
probability-
laughter.
Is there hysterical laughter, please?
3 rounds. You hysterical. You just basically collapse in fits of hysterics and laughing, and this is so ludicrous and absurd. This is go for it.
If it wasn't me, Hall, she wouldn't be laughing.
Exactly.
See a pussy.
Okay, and on that we'll cut back to Loveday. Loveday, it's the start of the round. What would you like to do? This creature is going to try and get into your mouth.
I just want it off me, please.
So you go try and get it off you. Are you going to brawl with it, or I'll give you a bonus dice because sorry, you get a bonus dice anyway because you are much bigger than it. It is much smaller than you. Sorry.
I penalty
It
dice,
doesn't
so
have a penalty dice when it tries to get into you, but you if you want to try and get it off you, you do have a bonus dice.
do I still get one even though I'm altitude sick?
No, they will cancel each other out.
So I can't see anything else to other than just get it off. So a dodge, essentially, I'm rolling.
Brawl. You're trying to grab it and tear it off you. So you fail by...
Yes, I am going to spend my luck. I really, really don't want
Oh,
this
very
thing
good.
going
Okay.
anywhere, and it's a lot of luck to spend, but I think it's worth it.
Okay, so we said spending 17 points of luck.
17,
So you got, what, a
yes.
42 over 25, yeah?
Yes.
Okay,
So I've just
so you
got
spent 17 points of luck.
Yep, I think.
And you managed to get a hold of this burning, acidic, horrible, horrible creature, and you have a grip on it. What do you want to do to it? Do you want to... You
I wanna
just throwing it
squish
away, or you
and then wipe my hands really fast.
Okay. You're going to take 2 points of damage for the fact it's been crawling around on your bare skin for 2 rounds.
Seems fair.
And you're going to take another 1 point of damage as you squash it and basically the slime splatters around all over your hands. So you now have red burns and welts down the side of your face where it's trying to climb up into your mouth, and horrible kind of acidic scarring all over one of your hands as you
That's
splatter
also
this creature.
taken me down to 1 hit point. Does that mean I pass out, or am I still going down to 0?
No, I think you're okay. You haven't taken a major wound yet.
Okay is a strong
Right.
word to use in this particular situation.
Conscious, if not okay.
Wow, you've 8 hit points overall. Okay, lovely.
Yeah.
This is not the right person to be in a hand-to-hand brawl with the Karisiri. Okay, so you crush this maggot in your hand. Its acidy slime bursts all over your hand and drips down as you start shaking it off and wiping it off. Are you kind of slumping back in relief, or are you going to do anything or try and get anything, or?
I think I'm probably this is probably a question for you as the keeper. I have my gun in my handbag at all times, and I haven't at any point said what I've done with it. So if I were to say I dropped it on a chair, near the door as I came into the room, would you let me grab it and then just sort of stumble/scramble out of the room to try and get down into a more public area?
I would let you do one of those two things.
Okay. I'm just going to leave the room as fast as possible, please.
Okay. You do know Larkin is in your doorway right now,
Oh.
shouting at and trying to kind of beating on De Mendoza outside your room.
Sorry, I thought they had gone deeper into my room for some reason. No, in that case, I'm going to
No.
scramble for my
He's trying to
gun and then
Throw him out. Yeah. Okay.
just get as far away. Maybe if there's a bathroom, I can lock myself
Curl
in
up
there.
into the corner, climb, get into the ensuite, or yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. We'll come back to you in a minute. Back to our intrepid investigators. Jackson Elias pops off another shot. He gets an
Jesse.
extreme success.
Go on, Jackson. Lad.
He shoots the female Karisiri in the face,
What we like.
and she goes down. That's it. Taken out. One go. And we go top of the round. Florence, you have a gun ready.
Yes, and if the female's already down, then I'm pointing it at the lad.
Okay. Shooting.
Yep, shooting.
So basically just stalking down the street, step by step. Okay. Yeah, we'll
make
say by
some,
now
if
you
not
could have
loads.
got close enough. You're in point blank range, so I'll give you a bonus dice. It's 45. Either one's a 45, so both hits. So you shoot him for another 3 points of damage. Okay. As he's already taken one major wound, he is going to try to flee. Okay, that's his action. Valentine, this is your second round of hysterical laughter, so you're not doing anything. Ruby, behind Florence seems to be a safe place to be right now. You could try and snap Valentine out of it. You don't have to.
I feel like she would, though. I feel like she would try and help in other ways, especially if she can't combat.
Talk us through that. What does that look like?
So Ruby will run over to Valentine give her a slap across the face to try and snap her out of it.
Public service announcement once again. This does not work in real life. Please do not do this. Right. Okay. Okay. I'm going to say that it doesn't really have much of an effect. It doesn't. You're not trying to do damage, so I'm not going to say it does any damage either. But Valentine, yes, definitely, your head rocks back, and honestly, to you, this is just even more hilarity. It's just more ludicrous absurdity. This must be some kind of bizarre, farcical dream. Okay. Michal O'Sullivan. This kid is trying to flee. The woman is down. What do you do?
I'll take careful aim and go one more time at him. And maybe hit him.
Okay.
Put him over.
I will give you a second bonus dice for taking a steady aim, getting ready, and just picking your shot. Okay. So
Okay.
give me a firearms, but you get one bonus dice. Okay. Because your first bonus dice gets cancelled. Okay.
Success.
That's a success, and then roll a bonus.
Okay.
That's
Let's
4.
stick with
So
the success.
49 or 29. So it is a 29. It's a hit for 1 point of damage.
One.
And that clips him in the shoulder as he runs off. He's not limping, but he's definitely wrapped around himself like he's really badly injured. But he's running for the hills. Jackson looks at you, Ruby. Grab Valentine. We got to get out of here. We can't be here when the cops come. We got to be out of here. Run. I'll get Michal. And he starts running over towards you.
I grab Valentine. I start running. All he had to do is say police, and I was off.
Okay. Florence, are you gonna join
I'm following
Ruby?
them, and I'm
Try and hustle Valentine away as she continues to laugh uncontrollably. Michal, you see this bizarre scene as you kind of realize what's going on around you. As Jackson runs up to you, you see the two ladies kind of half dragging Valentine away as she's looking at you, shrieking with laughter.
Fucking typical. I want to search the body of that woman if I can, quick. Like, I'm not
Jackson
going,
is like,
Jesse.
"Come, no, go,
No,
just
fuck
go,
off,
come
Jesse.
on,
No,
move,
help
come
me.
on.
No way.
You've gotta get away. We
Is
gotta
he
get out of here."
physically taking me away?
He is physically trying to drag you away. Do
Can I
you
do a
want
broad
to
check with
resist
him or
him or?
something? Yeah, I want to check that body.
Okay, so you shove him away, and you go for the body. Okay, you start rifling through the clothes, and you realize that the clothes are not like very good condition. They're not ages, decades old or anything, but they're not like fresh. There's a bit of an odor off them. And you kind of stick your hands, start looking, searching in pockets and things like that. Could you give me a sanity check, please, Michal? I know you were in the war and everything, but still rifling through
success.
corpses.
Steady as a rock.
Cool.
That's where I
Okay,
got most of my stuff was from rifling through corpses.
rifling through bodies in the war. Okay. So you find absolutely nothing. It's very strange. This woman does not seem to be carrying anything. She doesn't have a wallet, doesn't have a purse, nothing.
Can I ask, does she look... Is she still in monster mode?
Well, besides the fact that her like face has been blown away by a 45, not really, no.
Then I choose to leave.
Okay. And Jackson, will you come on, Michal? Just come with me, Mick. And he's kind of hustling you away down the street. So, ladies, in absence of any kind of guidance from Jackson of where to go, would you continue? Would you kind of be running off toward the docks where you originally been planning to go to the island, or would you be trying to kind of find your way back to the hotel?
I
Have,
say docks. Or what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, has everybody else run off? Like, are the streets empty now because they've all run in
This street
fear?
is pretty much emptied out. You can see people peering out from behind curtains and stuff, but
Yeah,
yeah,
maybe the docks then, yeah.
Yeah.
okay. So you're running for the docks. Okay. Jackson has you, Mihal, kind of dragging you down a side street and then continuing on. And he's not talking to you. He's not asking you any questions. He's just keep moving, keep moving.
Where are we going?
We're gonna try and find the ladies. Um, I'm sure they'd have gone back to the hotel.
Right, fine.
They're not crazy.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't know. I don't know. I saw that French one laughing her head off.
My bad.
Okay.
It's all right because Ruby smacked her, but she was standing up for me. I'd say, but
Back in the hotel. Loveday. You've scrambled into the small ensuite. Probably kind of positioned yourself between the bathtub and the wall, or just somewhere you feel at least partly sheltered. You hear a slam of a door out in your room. Dunk, dunk, dunk. Footsteps coming toward you creak as they reach the door of the bathroom. The bathroom door swings open. Larkin steps in. Gone is his somewhat world-weary, disheveled demeanor, where he's a bit down at the cuffs and looking drained from probably from drug use, and he's standing tall. There's a poise to his bearing as he steps into the room. And he looks at you. Come out from there.
I'm going to point the gun that I've taken out of my handbag directly at his face, but I will stand up very slowly and carefully. I'm shaking slightly, but I'm hoping that no one will say anything.
Don't be a fool. There's a really strange timbre to his voice. And as he stands there in the doorway with his back to the light, it's just his whole silhouette seems different. It's almost like this is a different person. His bearing, his posture, how his body is shaped almost has changed. Come out and let's talk. You've made an awful mess of this. And he steps backwards out of the bathroom into the hotel bedroom. Come. You can tell from his tone of voice he fully expects to be obeyed.
I think I will obey. I have come across powerful men in the life I've lived, and I've learned that it's usually better to just do as you're told for as long as you can and try and get a sense for what they want. So I'm going to keep hold of my gun but sort of lower it to my side as though I'm not, I've sort of forgotten that I'm holding it, and just cautiously follow him out into the room, but trying to play it like, it's all going to be okay. We're going to talk.
You come out into the room. You still holding it? Are you still pointing at him, did you say?
No, I'm holding it, but I've got it down by my side,
Okay.
like loose.
Okay. He's backed away. He stayed out of arm's reach of you, so it's not like he's menacing you or anything. But you notice he's keeping himself between you and the window. The light is behind him, and so again, it just casts him in shadow. This is a terrible mess. I wondered where De Mendoza had gone. Why does everyone need to be incompetent? Can I rely upon you and your friends to continue and finish this thing?
What does finishing this thing look like to you?
We're going to the temple, the pyramid, and we are retrieving the treasure. We're going to come back rich. That was the plan, was it not?
That was the plan, I will agree, and I do like the sound of coming back rich, so you have me there. But I have to confess, I fear there are particulars you may not be aware of. How would you feel if I told you that we believe that to take more treasure from that temple will release thousands more like de Mendoza, or perhaps worse?
I've done my research. It will not. There is only a few of them. They'll die off once we've taken everything we need to from the temple. Do you want to give me a psychology check?
My psychology is not good, so I failed.
Okay. 84 out of 10. Yes. That it does sound like he knows what he's talking about.
All right. I am interested in finding out where this finishes and how, but I can't deny I no longer feel safe here in this country on this expedition. So in order to continue, I would like one piece of information from you. Will you give me that piece of information?
You can ask.
I would like to know how I stop de Mendoza or others like him if I should be attacked again.
Fire.
Fire. Wave fire at him to chase him off, or I need to set fire to him to kill him?
Burn him.
Right. Okay, I'm going to nod and I'm going to demonstratively put my gun back in my handbag.
I'm not feeling well.
Would you like
I
to
think
sit
I
down?
need to rest now. Loveday, do you intend, are you explicitly, consciously intending to collaborate and cooperate and work with Larkin, or are you bluffing him and trying to pull the wool over his eyes?
I'm definitely trying to buff him. I am interested in working with him insofar as I want to get to the temple and understand what's going to happen, but I currently don't have any intention to follow through and allow him to do whatever horrible thing he wants to do. I'm trying, but I'm very, very much trying to get him to believe that I'm buying in and doing as I'm told.
Okay. Ooh, I have to turn that on. Okay. This is a shame. If only you were truthful with me. I come day. I come day ray. I'm die hey ray. And he puts his hand out and he's intoning something in some strange language.
I would like to shoot him.
I'm sure you would like to. Okay.
Oh boy. Can I go?
That's why.
Okay. Go for it. Shoot him.
Oh dear.
Hey!
Hard success.
Oh wow. Okay. So the damage for the handgun is on the next tab. Is that your first shot with the gun?
No, sorry, my microphone keeps taking forever to unmute. No, I shot de Mendoza successfully in Lima.
Okay, but it's the first shot today with the gun, so we're going to assume it's fully loaded. Yeah, okay. So roll 1d10 for me for damage, and you have 5 shots remaining.
Uh, 8 damage.
Eight damage. Okay. He goes down and stops intoning. He doesn't fall over and die or collapse to the ground. He just kind of drops to one knee, stops intoning, looks startled for a second, and then stands up. That was foolish, mortal. And now he lifts a hand and starts gesturing above him. Open. Come. And he starts chanting again in a different language, a different tongue. And as he does, you see a kind of weird rippling in the air above his hand. And as he's kind of moved and shifted now, you see his eyes are entirely black. There's no white to his eyes. There's no irises. It's just like pure black eyes. Could you give me a sand check, please?
Success.
Okay. No sand loss then from seeing the eyes. He is seemingly he's trying to do something strange and magical, and it's kind of freaking you out a bit. What would you like to do?
I'd like to run away, please, as fast as I can.
Okay. Right, cool. You run out of the room. Okay. Out into the corridor.
Yeah, heading for the stairs. I just want to get out of this
Okay,
hotel.
heading for the stairs, getting out the hotel. Okay. I'm gonna say over the next couple of rounds, you run down through the hotel, out through the front door, and you kind of charge out onto the street. As Mihal and Jesse come furtively, kind of scurrying across the street toward the door of the hotel, as you run out.
I think I'm probably weirdly relieved to see Mihal looking almost as grim as I feel right now. I presume, like, covered in blood, like, clearly been bitten by something. And I'm like, well, do you know what? At least someone else is having as bad a day as I am. So I'm going to just stumble towards them and just scream, do not go in that hotel. We have to get out of here as fast as we possibly can.
Okay. Jackson's like, what are you... And then you see him look up. And he looks up at the hotel room window. And through the window, all you see is a strange kind of almost tear in space-time. And something is tearing at it with long tentacles, with barbed tentacles, trying to tear it open and come out through this tear in space-time. Beneath it is Larkin, and he's turned. He's still casting this, and he's looking straight out the window toward you guys. and he is most certainly summoning something horrific to come for you.
Run away. Yeah.
Run away really fast. please.
Preferably to the
Check with
dogs.
Jesse.
Jackson's like,
Yeah.
no, shoot him. Could you please give me sand checks?
Success.
Hard success.
This thing is, by the way, massive. It looks like some kind of. It's not tentacles now. You see, as the claws of the kind of clawed arms come out. They're more like the strange limbs of some kind of bug. You lose no sanity points, either of you, as you see this. Jackson, however, is freaking out somewhat, and he opens fire, but he is shooting at the thing, not.
Oh,
Well, he is shooting at the thing.
not smart.
And it is very, very big. It doesn't seem to notice these shots.
Can I ask, when I shot Larkin, did it create like a visible wound, or was it?
Oh
like...
yeah. It punched a hole through him and came out the other side, and there was blood, and he went down. He just didn't die.
I thought he'd just brushed it off like De Mendoza did, so
No,
that's
no,
why I ran away.
My
Okay,
bad.
well, in that case,
My fault for not describing it well enough.
no, so I was panicking. In that case, I think I will probably take another shot as well if the first one did work, but hopefully we're also far enough away to run if it doesn't work.
Okay. So a 70 over 50. You miss Larkin.
I mean, how fast is this thing opening?
Reasonably quick. It's going to be out in the next round or so.
Which is what?
So
6 seconds.
next 6 to 12 seconds.
Yeah.
It's coming.
I mean, I guess I'll try to shoot him too, because it's.
You shooting
I mean,
Larkin?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna get.
Yeah,
very
it's
far in
obvious that
6
he's the
seconds.
one calling this thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a little disappointed in Jackson saying shoot him and then shooting the wrong thing, but you know, I get the idea, so let's go for it.
Jackson is panicking.
Man. Back in the war, we saw worse than this. Okay. Here we go. Don't let me down. I get it. I'm also the two of us with altitude sickness are the ones fighting on the dinosaurs. Mother Mary, don't let me down. Mother Mary, you could have done better than that now. I'll roll the penalties well for the crack.
Okay, so it's a miss.
It is.
Okay. So no hits on him this round. Do you shout anything at me, Al?
Can I just check something? Because I've got a number in brackets here for attacks. Is it 1 and then in brackets 3? Is it 3 is the
So
maximum number of
3
shots?
is the number of shots you can take if you take an extra penalty dice
Oh, yeah, okay.
on all the shots.
Do I shout anything out? Leading question. Larkin, knock it off! You madman!
Sure, that will work.
I don't have anything else at the moment.
Okay. Okay. I'll just describe the scene around you a little for a moment as we cut away, right? There are people again screaming. It's getting to evening time, so it's not super busy on the streets of Puno, but it's not like a deserted street either. It's quite a busy street. There's a plaza. There's a nice view of from the hotel over the plaza, as I said last week. Your people are freaking out. They're seeing this thing. They're seeing people pull guns and shoot up at the hotel window. People are running for cover. You hear people screaming for police. It's kind of bedlam. But everything falling apart a bit on you at the moment. I think is the feeling you're getting more than anything else. Okay. Back at the docks, the two of you arrive with Valentine in tow. Valentine is has managed to compose herself now. You arrive down to the docks and you're kind of looking around you, and there's no sign of Jackson. There's no sign of Mihal. You're not sure where Jackson was intending to go. You know he wanted to go out to the island to see Narya, but like you don't know. There's fishing boats and different boats. There's a couple of nice looking boats that you'd go out for a bit of a pleasure cruise on, river boats. But there's no sign for you, like kind of where you should be going.
Are there lights about anywhere?
So it's early evening, so it's still kind of lit up, but it's still kind of daylight fading into dusk. Um, yes, some street lights have started to come on. Some of the boats, yes, there'll be lights in the boats showing that there'll be people on deck.
Mihal seemed pretty thrown there. We should probably try to meet up with the lads.
We've no idea where they're gone. But am I still insane or
So you've managed to compose yourself. 6 sanity points to lose in one go is a huge hit. There is a thing we'll need to check later whether that's 1/5 of your sanity in one go. But for now, I'll say you're reasonably stabilized.
If they're not here, I guess the only place would be they may have headed back to the hotel.
We don't want to pass each other without knowing it. And the plan was we were going to go to the dock. I think so, yeah. Because the plan was always the docks. So if we're not at the hotel, surely they'll be heading here next, I would imagine.
or they've been
We could
eaten?
certainly wait for an amount of time.
They might have been eaten by the gross monster things.
Well,
Let's try and
give it a
stay
bit of
positive.
time before we jump to unnecessary assumptions.
Yes.
It wouldn't be unnecessary. I mean, if they exist. They never thought to exist, but
Yeah.
they exist. So then they could just eat us all. So I don't know why they haven't already. I mean,
We
Okay.
did try to warn you this, me and Loveday. We did say what we saw, and you
well,
seem
I
to
mean,
struggle
like
with
you
that.
didn't really like to talk about the extent of it. Like, why was Nihal being bitten on the chest by a child? It was all very weird. Like, you did not let me know that it was quite this weird.
Are you done?
For the moment, yes.
Okay. Well, either we wait for an agreed amount of time until they arrive here, or we decide to go to them. But as Ruby pointed out, the possibility of us passing each other, we don't want to do that either.
It's starting to get dark. We want to just stand at this mysterious dock and wait for a mysterious ship.
Well, I probably wouldn't say we shouldn't get on anything without the lads. We should be aiming to meet up with them.
I agree.
I
Is
mean,
that-
perhaps they...
Is there anywhere we can sit in? Is there anything open at this time?
Yeah, you could find there'd be little cafes or something like that. Yeah,
Hopefully something with a window where we can keep a lookout.
keep an eye out.
Yeah.
Okay. So you kind of you I don't want to say bunker down, but you find somewhere quiet and calm and safe to sit and stabilize and okay. And I'm gonna guess that over the next little while there's a little more discussion and kind of bringing Valentine around to look. This is all crazy, but we're in it together, kind of thing, and yeah, or at least trying to. Okay, back with Loveday and Mihal, and Jesse. Top of the round, Loveday. I think you might have the highest dex. I'm gonna ask you. What you're going to do? What would you like to do first?
I'm going to attempt once again to shoot Larkin.
Okay, you're shooting for Larkin. Okay. Okay.
Do I have to penalty dice?
You do have a penalty dice, yes.
Oh yes!
That will be a 0-1, so you're not getting the 0-1, which would be a critical hit. But you do get a 21, so you hit for 10 damage.
Woo!
Suck
Okay.
it, Larkin!
I was about to say it's time to start rolling characters or doing
We were
some
close to
amazing
that.
running away rolls as this creature comes and eats you all, tries to eat you all. But no, 10 points is more than enough, more than what was needed. It's almost like a fluke. You're standing there, you're shaking, you line the gun up, you crack off a shot, and almost more by luck than anything else, or maybe it's those hours you spent practicing because with your dad's
I worked
staff.
hard for that.
Yeah. But basically, you hit him bang on center of mass, and there's a moment of shock on his face, and straight away the first thing that happens is the rift above him just vanishes and contracts down to almost nothing. And but the wide eyes, he clutches at his chest and he topples forward out of the hotel window and lands with a sickening crunch on the pavement near to you. Around you, there's still bedlam and chaos and people screaming and running around and freaking out and calls for the police. What do you do? Mihal, I'll go to you next because Loveday is just taking a shot.
I think keep the guns trained on your man and move over there. Like
Moving over toward the body.
I'm on a body search and roll. Let's do it. if we're sure he's dead, like let's go slow here.
Okay, so you move
Also,
over
well
cautiously,
fucking
gun
done, Loveday.
gun prepared, and he's
Good
well
character.
done, Loveday.
Fair fucking
Gun
play.
pointed at him.
Yeah.
He's
I
lying
do
there.
think I had to take a second of just like screaming in triumph. I'm so hopped up on adrenaline, so I'm just taking a moment to myself, just like ah!
Blood is spreading out slowly around this body, and he lies there, and his eyes are open as you walk toward him, Mihal. And his breath is rasping, and he looks up at you. And sounding just like Augustus Larkin normally sounds with that strange Kenyan colonial accent. Thank you. Thank you so much. And the last kind of energy passes out of his body and his eyes go glassy as he dies. Jackson, at this point, is grabbing Loveday. Come, we gotta go. Run. Mick, follow us. Just come on.
What is it with this lad? I'm running away the whole time. I have to check this man's
Because
pockets.
police. Because police.
And
Right,
he drags
here's-
you. He drags you off, Loveday. And yes, there's sirens rapidly approaching.
Yeah, but like we have like
Yep.
a golden mirror and artifacts and whatever else up in this hotel. I don't fancy trying to break into a police station and try and get them back.
Okay.
Um,
So what are you doing?
are there a lot of witnesses around here?
There's a good few people out on the street. Yeah.
Well, I think they'll all back us up on the whole Cthulhu monster rift business. I will search this man's pockets as quick as I can.
Okay. You have a quick search of his pockets. Nothing.
Nothing.
He's settling down for a rest in his hotel room. He's taking everything out. It's on his bedside table.
I feel like if I was going to summon a demon, I'd have something on me.
Hey, he wasn't planning on summoning a demon. He was planning on having a nap.
Okay, fuck, because the stuff is in the hotel. Oh, okay, I'll go. I mean, there's no fucking Mendoza will get in there and get the stuff. Fuck, my nose is probably still in there.
You don't know that?
I don't know that. Okay, I'm going in to get the stuff.
Oh God.
Why? Why?
Okay.
Can I? Because if Jackson's driving away, can I see
Yeah.
Mick going for the hotel and be
Yeah,
like,
yeah, you
"No,
can see Mick
Mendoza's
starting to
in there. What are you doing?"
Can't you do that?
Yeah, you hear that. You hear that shout.
I'm going
as
to
she's
get the
getting dragged away
stuff.
down.
Hang on. There's a vampire in there. Don't go in.
The hell's with the stuff, man? Run!
Okay, running. Convinced.
Okay. So we're gonna zip through a little bit of stuff here, okay? Somehow, over the next 4 or 5 hours, you guys find each other, okay? Jackson knows a couple of people in this area. He gets hold of someone who can go and do a scout around and find the 3 foreign-looking ladies and bring them to him. He kind of finds somewhere for you guys to bunk down, bolt hole, kind of keep your heads down. There is definitely a bit of a manhunt going on. People in 2 different places in the city now have been firing guns, and even some of the descriptions seem to match up that the same person was involved in both situations, or 2 same people were involved. So I'm going to say it's quite late that night. Okay. The 5 of you and Jackson are sitting in a basement somewhere in Puno. Some food is on the table. The man who lives upstairs has kindly left you to your own devices with a warning to Jackson that I do not want any trouble. No trouble. Just stay quiet. Stay down here. And Jackson is sitting there. He's kind of rocking back and forth in the chair a little bit. He's like, oh, I don't know. What do we do now? What do we do now, folks? And from what he's been saying over the last little while, you guys get the feeling that from his perspective now, you kind of got 2 choices. One is you charge on and see if you can still make it to this pyramid and do what needs to be done, despite the fact that like half the cops in Puno are probably out looking for you at the moment. You could have a really hard time getting to Naria. You could have a pretty hard time getting anywhere, getting burros. Any of Larkin's arrangements aren't going to be suitable for you. And this Karasiri out to get you. So you could do that, or we could find a way onto a steamer. People could probably get us on a steamer, and we get out of here. We head back to the States. We go home. We go wherever we need to do. Just hope that Larkin was actually the head honcho of the cult after all. He seems to have gone back in his head. He definitely had a bit of a kind of an episode earlier with the seeing the creature coming out of this hole in space, etc. He seems to have gone back in his head to this is a cult, some kind of death cult thing. It's like we could just go and hope we've done enough. It's up to you, but first time in my life I'm reluctant to carry on. I think this is a go home and call it quits situation. Now, above the table for a second is the keeper. I think all of your characters would probably feel that that's the sensible option, right? Now, whether or not you think it's totally up to you. If any of your characters at this point would have a burning desire to no, we have to close this, we have to finish this, we have to get it done. Totally up to you guys, okay? So I'll let you guys talk it through. But as the keeper, what I'm doing through Jackson is giving you've got two avenues here. Both are fine campaign continuing avenues. One is keep charging on with the chaos that you've initiated in Peru, or the other is make tracks, lick your wounds. Oh, by the way, Loveday, um, when you got pounded to the ground, the 4 points of damage that De Mendoza did initially, um, that was temporary damage. That was more, it was kind of battering damage rather than actually taking physical wounds, right? So you would have regaining those over the next overnight. You'll be back up to about 5 hit points by the morning, okay? Um, but you basically go off and lick your wounds and regroup and try and get back to your normality and get back to your lives. That is a totally fine option. The other is charge on and see if you can get to this pyramid without Larkin.
Well, who wants to go first?
Well, I've had half my face burnt off, my hands burnt, I've shot a man twice and it's only killed him, sort of, I think, possibly. He may not even be dead. He was talking very strangely. The only information I have is that fire might kill de Mendoza when he inevitably comes after him again. We've now learned there could be countless of these creatures. I, for one, just really want to go home.
I had a horrifying vision when I touched the mask, and I think that horrible things could happen with that pyramid, but it seems like Larkin was the leader in all that, or at least it seems likely he was, and he was the reason I was here in the first place, and now he's gone, so there's not that much keeping me here.
But how do we know that there is not someone else who was going to try and open that pyramid? And we may know how to tackle the monsters, but what if someone else opens it and all hell breaks loose?
Yeah, I feel like this is bigger than us now. I feel like if we were to walk away, we're harming innocent people as well. With the knowledge that we know, surely we can help them.
I mean, I would consider myself to be a fairly innocent person, and I don't know anything. Even the fire thing sounds like horseshit to me. I mean, the man set a fire in the university to distract us. So, I mean, I wouldn't trust a word come out of Larkin's mouth, whatever his real name was. I mean, the whole point was he was going to get us down there for treasure. It's clear now that's not what he was up to. I think we got very, very lucky so far, and I'm not sure, even if there is some sort of a hell portal opening up down there, I'm not sure what I'm going to do about it. I mean, I don't want to leave you on your own, but, like, what are you going to do? Like?
We also have the slight problem that Larkin was the one who knew how to get to the pyramids, so we're going to have to organise a whole expedition while we're on the run from the police. And sadly, the police have probably impounded all of our belongings, including that strip of gold that we really needed to replace in the temple. So I don't know what... do we break into a police station? It's not really my wheelhouse.
Does this end with us in prison?
Well, it's only if they think that we are involved. I mean, only Loveday and Michal were there.
Yeah, but on the other street, there's all four of us fire off guns.
People saw our faces when we shot. When
And if you
I
think
shot
Mendoza
what may
left
have
that
looked
stuff
like
in
a
the
boy.
hotel, not likely.
I feel like we need
The only
to...
thing you definitely have for sure, Florence, is the mask, which is in your handbag.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, don't go looking at it again.
Don't put it on. You of all people don't put it on.
Florence kind of is fiddling with her handbag and spots it. It's like, oh, shit.
Well, well, there's this.
Ugh.
Sort of gesturing.
We
the
don't
handbag.
even know what it is. I don't think you should be carrying it around, to be honest.
No, someone else take it off of me. I don't want it.
Wouldn't Naira know something about the map?
I don't know. That doesn't seem like a Peruvian folklore kind of thing to me. It's
Bolivian, someone said it came from.
We need to get access to Larkin's like notes and his maps and all of that.
Well, I'm not going back to the hotel. I don't know about you guys.
Jackson, do you know anybody locally who might be able to get into the police station or get into the hotel and see if any of our things can be gathered up?
No, not to do anything like that. I've got some contacts, but I'm a writer, not a mob boss. Um, no.
Lads, I'm going to tell you straight. I'm done. Peru's been shite. I have to go. Like, you didn't see it. Myself and Loveday saw this thing. It was like the bug from space. It was awful.
What's to say they're not going to follow you?
Huh?
What's to say that these heresy aren't going to follow you?
To Ireland.
Wherever
Worse
you
things
go.
waiting for them. Sure, we'll see, but like hanging out here isn't much crack. Like, although if I meet that junkful again, I get Loveday to shoot him because I can't hit anything.
Loveday, what were you going to say?
I am being swayed by the notion of duty and the idea that it might be up to us to stop this, because I don't know who else will, but I truly cannot see a way right now for us to do that. I can't see how we get the seal back. I can't see how we get to the pyramid. I can't see how we avoid de Mendoza. And to be honest, that mirror that Florence has is really freaking me out.
Do you want to look at the mirror?
Not a single one of us. Not a
Does
single
someone
one of us
else
speaks
want
Spanish.
to take it off of me?
No.
No, thank you. No, not today, darling.
If no one else will take it, I'll take it. But I'm not. I'm not saying I'm coming. But if it has to go somewhere,
Jackson says, well, I do speak Spanish, but I'm afraid I'm leaning, for the first time, as I said in my life, I'm leaning toward what Michal is laying down. This just seems. Look, even if. Just think we have to explain it to someone. Just think we do get picked up by the police here in Puno. We have to talk to them and explain why people are running around saying they saw a bug climbing through a window, even if it's climbing through a window in the hotel. How do we explain? How do we explain? And he points at the great big suppurating gash in Michal's chest that is currently still oozing kind of blood and fat. How do we explain that? Let alone how are we going to get him medical attention? How do we explain a wound like that? I don't know where to go from here, folks.
Well, I think regardless, we need to know what Larkin was planning, even if we don't go towards the pyramid right now. So I think we need to get access to his belongings somehow.
for your PhD, is it?
We.
I'm not getting another. I'm after losing exactly
Michal,
1/75th of my body fat now, and I'm not losing another of your PhD.
Michal, do you want to roll a psychology check for me there, please?
Yeah. PhD.
Along with anybody else, you're all in this conversation. You're all engaged at the same level. Michal asks about
Not gonna. Yeah.
Valentine's
That was a long
PhD.
shot.
Extreme
How did it go?
success.
So, Michal, no. Ruby, yes. Again, you get basically you get the same read again from Valentine as the last time she was talking about her PhD. Morven, there's something very sus here. The way she's pushing, it doesn't seem like it's, and she has no reaction to anything about PhD. There's something askew here with Valentine and this PhD business.
What are you planning? What do you want?
Excuse me?
This isn't about your this. All of your behaviour is very odd. This is not rational. We've all explained why we're in danger, and you keep pushing this.
I'm merely saying that I want access to Larkin's notes to figure out what exactly is going on. And considering that you just saw a big insect coming through a hole in the sky and then you want to bury your head in the sand, it could come and
That
eat
seems
us all,
like
like
quite a normal
vampire
reaction.
thingies. Pardon?
That's quite a normal reaction to want to not go near the giant insect coming through the hole in the sky.
Yes, but
Everything that's happened so far, you've been cool as a cucumber, and you're cool as a cucumber now. And when you saw me getting eaten by the thing from beyond, you had a great old laugh about it. You didn't laugh at my jokes, but you're laughing at me getting eaten. Something's going on, and I don't like it. And I tell you what, if you're the only one here who's going for the pyramid, I'm not going with you.
I believe I was not actually laughing at you being eaten. It was more the insanity of the mind had a little moment. Considering something was having
Ruby
its face
smacked you
ripped
on my
open.
behalf. Yeah.
Valentine, the calculating part of you at this point starts to you start to feel like maybe throwing them some kind of a bone or giving them something might be the only way to because it's obvious that at least a couple of these have rumbled you. You're definitely picking up that Florence, at least, who doesn't seem to you anything like what she lets on to be either, by the way. But you definitely, Florence and Ruby, they've picked up something, and they've rumbled you a little bit. So part of you is kind of going, do I say something, or do I just keep bluffing it out and pretend, But maybe if you think if I want to get out of this with them, if we're going to continue to help each other, maybe I need to throw them a bone of some kind. It's up to you what you do.
I was also thinking this. Fine. I will put you on the level with me. My interest in Larkin was not strictly academic. I believe that my father was involved in some of his expeditions. So I wanted to learn something from Larkin about that, but you have since killed him, which is going to make it quite hard for me to find my father now. I have not seen him in 20 years, but I know that he was on the ship Manifesto on some of the expeditions, and then he just, poof, disappeared. So I don't know, was eaten by a Karasiri? Did a big insect get him? Is he trapped somewhere? I have no idea. Maybe he's
I
near
wish you
pyramid,
would
maybe
have
he's not near
told
pyramid.
us this.
Well,
I am terribly sorry about your father, but I refuse to be sorry about shooting Larkin. I'm very sorry, but I won't be.
typical.
So did you know that Larkin was like a wizard?
No. I knew that
Wizard
he was
Larkin.
extremely corrupt, and that he pays off a lot of journalists to get good press from them, or he did before he died. But I did not know that he was a wizard, or whatever that is.
Well, cultist. I think we can all stick to like.
I don't know
this
where
is
you're getting
obviously
the
some
cult
kind of
thing
death
from.
cult.
It's a cult thing, but I haven't seen anyone
He
else.
was chanting and making out like he was gonna make a spell of some kind.
Yet crazy people do that.
Cult activity, definitely.
It was an active, actual spell, like the thing was coming through. You saw it.
Hello, I don't know what I saw. There could have been a lot of smoke and mirrors there.
Oh, Jackson, you're letting us down now, and here we go.
Valentine, where was that expedition that your father disappeared on? Where were they on their way to?
I believe they were somewhere on their way from Scandinavia to the Americas, but I have no idea
Okay.
where they docked or what happened. They just vanish.
And at some point, were you going to ask him, like,
I mean, ask him, blackmail him, torture him a little bit. It depends on how things transpired. But
I'm definitely not going to the pyramid with you now.
I have not threatened you.
I don't know now. Torture. You had all sorts of stuff in mind.
A petit peu.
You're a hard woman.
Well,
So
I will
anyway.
be quite honest. I don't know that we can come to a decision tonight. I, for one, feel that we perhaps ought to try and do something about myself and Mihal. I don't think we're in any fit state to go anywhere. You're sort of still oozing, Mihal, and my hands and my face really are terribly painful. And everywhere is just complete bedlam out there. So I wonder if perhaps we ought to try and get some medical attention, have a good night's sleep, and then see what the situation is in the morning. Perhaps everyone will have just forgotten about it and it will all have gone away and we can just pop into the police station and pick up our things. Who knows?
Is there a newspaper in Puno?
Puno would have a newspaper. Sorry, in character, Jackson's. Yeah, of course, there's a newspaper.
The journalists would know what is going on.
I'm gonna say that you. Do any of you have first aid, by the way?
I have a bit.
Oh, yes.
I'm gonna say that
Think
you,
so.
because I rushed you through things to get you to here. I'm gonna say that at some point one of you would have administered first aid to each of Mihal and Loveday. And we're back. Here we go. So back in character. See how the rest of this conversation goes.
Valentine, that rather sad to hear about your father. I do feel the need to be honest with you and say that I was also here to investigate Larkin because of an expedition to Norway. But this is the point where I have to admit that I've somewhat been dishonest with you all. I'm not a novelist. I'm a PI. I was hired by the family of a young man who's gone missing, who was exchanging letters with Larkin about a trip to Norway, and he went missing. So they paid me a reasonable sum of money to come here and find out about the chap. But to be honest, this level of danger is far more than I signed up for. I'd give them the money back at this point. But that's all I know. I don't think I know anything more about Larkin than you did.
When did this boy disappear?
Only a year ago.
Interesting.
In case that's any information, I mean.
Just if I remember right, Valentine, as well, your father, it would have been, as you say, as you know, it would have been longer ago, but it wasn't Scandinavia. That was when we were talking about the different expeditions you'd seen that Larkin had been involved with. You saw that he's connected to something to do with Scandinavia as well. He's been pottering around the world, doing bits and pieces, as he alluded to himself the other day as well.
I wouldn't have revealed that if I didn't think it could help. That was me being an empath.
No, but it would, yeah. It did. It doesn't change what Valentine said, because Valentine knows what Larkin has been doing. She's not necessarily going to say where she does think her dad went missing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Could could I ask the keeper a question above the table? So I've given in Loveday's backstory that she also just sort of frits around the world as she pleases, throwing her money at archaeological expeditions. Would she have crossed paths with Larkin or have moved enough in archaeological circles that she would have heard of other people going missing? Or is this a very, like, secret?
Oh, yeah, you've heard arc the exploration, geographical expeditions, archaeological expeditions and digs. It's a bit of a thrill thing, but it is also a danger thing. Definitely, give me an archaeology check even, and I'll see if you know any other expeditions that have gone missing.
Oh, do you know what? I'm going to spend my 2 luck points that I've just got back to find out the answer and turn that into a success, as it's only 2.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Yeah, so you are aware that from time to time expeditions go missing. People who are out doing this kind of thing disappear, don't come back. For example, quite famously, there was an expedition in 1919 into 1920, where a famous young dilettante heir was and the rest of the expedition, in fact, all died. The Carlisle expedition. Um, yeah, the Carlisle expedition would have gone missing sometime in 1919.
And connected in any way to Larkin, or totally unconnected?
No, well, not that you like. As I say, you've not heard anything about Larkin before.
Well, does anyone else have any secrets they'd like to share with the class before we move on with the conversation?
I suppose since we're being honest, Florence, I will also share that I am not a PhD student. I am a journalist from Paris, which is how I came across Larkin in the first place. I was investigating the corruption surrounding all the businesses he seems to be involved in. So I believe there's a much bigger story here.
I just can't
Lots of
believe I
people
paid the
going
man
missing.
so much money to be here. What a fool.
So, Valentine, are you here to write a story or to find your father, or both? Is this work related as well as personal, or are you...
I'll be honest, it is more personal, but at the same time, I believe that this level of corruption and all these things that Larkin has been up to are part of what is destroying the world. Like, the world is trying to rebuild itself after the war, and I believe that people like Larkin should not be allowed to continue. So if a story comes out of it, très bien. But I have to admit it is a more personal expedition for me.
Jackson's looking around the table. Oh, look. I put my cards on the table the first night, so can't really criticize anyone else having their own motivations and reasons for being on this expedition. But yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow. The amount of secrecy and but look, we're in this together now, and I just think we need to find a good exit.
Agreed.
Agreed. And for what it's worth, if it helps persuade you, Valentine, I will throw everything in my disposal into helping you in any way I can. If you need access to certain circles and I can provide that, you can write to me and I will get you in them. But I just don't think that trying to charge after a temple or any of Larkin's belongings is the move. I think that will end up with you in prison, and then you'll have no answers at all.
No, I agree we should not go after the temple. That would be crazy, considering we could just get eaten. But I don't know, I feel like we should keep in contact with somebody from here.
For my part,
Well,
now that I've discovered that one person here actually has a good reason to be here, or two if you can't get paid, that sort of changes my perspective on the whole thing. But I'll be honest, I'm having a hard time getting over all the conversations we had about Larkin and trying to figure out what was going on, and the two of you knew that he wasn't on the level the whole time. And I get that you didn't know, you knew he wasn't trustworthy and you didn't know what you're getting into, but I think you could see that we were trustworthy. And it took you till now, till the demon from the great beyond showed up to tell us the truth.
Well, I'll be honest, Micheál, I always had the impression that you did not like me very much. So...
And we have been rather busy.
That's true also, yeah.
There's been a lot going on, so it has not been a unholding kumbaya type...
It's not been a lot of chit-chat.
Well, I mean, we did have time to discuss your PhD on a couple of occasions.
Yes, but PhDs are not very interesting. I don't know why anybody does them. It's very hard to make conversation about them. Go do something useful with your life.
Well, look, all I'm saying is, for me, I would have loved to help you, and to help you as well. And I'm just disappointed, Florence, to be honest with you. And I think right now, I'm done.
I shot that thing that was trying to kill you.
And thank you very much for doing so. I tried to do the same.
I thought you used to be a soldier. You're not very good at shooting.
Oh, you hit your limit,
Well, for the record, Ruby and I really were here for the archaeology.
And the cosmopolitans.
Well, Valentina and Florence, I'll keep an eye out. I'll keep an ear to the ground. I have contacts here. If there's any chance of getting our hands on Larkin's paperwork or anything like that, or any files or anything that could be useful for you guys later, I'll get back in touch. I'll let you know. For sure, once we're out of here, I'd say it'd be good to stay in touch to some extent. We've definitely shared something that not many people in the world can relate to, so might be good to talk sometime. But I think right now the main thing is to work out how we get out of Puno.
Assume we adopt a disguise of some kind.
You're the best at those. I think you need to give us some tips on them.
Salty.
I know you meant to be salty, but I take it as a compliment.
Okay.
Jesse, you were saying you could organise a steamer. Like, how do you go about it?
Well, I'll arrange tickets for us all, and then the main thing is getting through customs without. I might know someone who could get us on the boat without. Look, let me make some inquiries. So, to shortcut. Here's how this goes. Over the next 24 to 48 hours, you guys lie low in a basement and get to know one another very, very closely, as you live together in a basement. Jackson asks some questions, gets some people come to visit him now and again. He has a few conversations upstairs. He gives you updates now from time to time, but basically the gist is he works out a way to get you on a steamer back up out of Peru, back up to the US. From there, you guys will work out how to make your own ways home. Shouldn't be a problem at that point, assuming you've your could cover cost of transport, etc., which most of you probably can. And he tells you that the passport checks and all that will be not necessary. You will just get on the boat under guise of being uh, workers on the boat, on the ship. Okay. Uh, you feel that he's pulled a lot of strings and called in a whole bunch of favors, but he doesn't seem averse to burning those favors at this point. He seems to feel that you guys really came through and helped him when he asked for help. Um, and you get a sense that genuinely he has respect and admiration for you. He thinks that you've gone through something really challenging and raw together, and um, he wants to recognize that. He wants to do his part for you in the same way, and he does want to stay in touch. So what I'd like us all to do now, there's a couple of things we're going to do mechanically. We've already done our luck catch-up checks because I've forgotten at each of the second, third, and fourth sessions to do the luck check to see how much luck you gain. Um, we'll remember that in future sessions. But right now, what we're gonna do, we get a bit of sanity back. You guys, as you get out of Peru, you you do feel some sense of closure and some reward. Um, you're still worried that de Mendoza is out there, so nothing to feel good about there. But you did stop Larkin, so I'm gonna get each of you to roll a d4, okay? And you get back one d4 sanity for releasing Larkin. From whatever was controlling him, I think you guys did talk about that. You kind of you did come to the conclusion together that Larkin was under some kind of control. So you get another 1d6 sanity from the idea that you've done something good there. It does weigh on your minds a bit that you never got to the pyramid and that there's a chance that the Karasiri can get loose. At the same time, you're also relieved to some extent that you didn't go and pull any more gold out of the pyramid and make things worse. So those kind of balance each other off. So it's a net nothing in that regard. Um, so really, that was it. The 1d4 for Larkin and the 1d6 for freeing Larkin. Then you travel back and you go your various ways. Now, what happens now is we go forward in time to 1925. Okay, so we jump forward 4 years. Quite a bit of stuff is probably going to happen to your characters in the meantime. You have various experiences. Mihal, you'll probably need to decide, did you stay in the US or did you find the way to scrape together a fare to get back over to Ireland? Were you part of the follow-up? Did you get involved? Was the Civil War an impact on you, or did you hear about it from afar? Um, have you experienced the Irish Free State, or have you um, again just kind of uh, stayed in the US going, life is tough and I'm better out of it? You'll need to come kind of think through that and work out what he does.
Can I
No
just
mechanical effects from that. Yeah,
Can I
go
just
Ellie.
so Loveday had promised Mihal that she would give him whatever money he wanted in response for like helping with the expedition and would make sure that he got connected with a couple of guns from her dad if he wanted to. She will absolutely fulfill that promise. That was like part of the deal. Even if they didn't make it to the temple, he came to Puno with them when he didn't want to. And she can see he probably needs a little bit of help. She's going to be a bit judgy about it, but she's going to give it.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd be not on the Free State side of the Civil War, I'd say then.
Okay.
If I'm still smuggling guns.
Okay, so going forward, then that's some interesting stuff for me. But from your perspective,
Yeah.
that definitely there's a I don't like to say an indebtedness there, Miho, but there's a definitely, I think you'd have a bit of an appreciation there. So you two definitely stay in
Oh, for
contact in
sure.
that
Because
way.
like we didn't go to the pyramid, so I didn't do my half of the bargain.
Yeah.
I just got us all in a lot of trouble.
But it's the other almost eaten person. I feel like we're connected, you know.
Ruby, assumably, you continue on enjoying the good life, and uh, I'm gonna say you and Loveday probably should work out between you. How does your relationship blossom? Do you go further apart, or does this bring you closer together? Um, and then Ruby will talk about offline if anything else manifests in that 4 year period. Um, Florence, obviously, your partner in the practice, the private investigation firm, now has a small child. Uh, she's back involved. She's back working, but probably, you spend some time adjusting to that kind of how does it work
Florence is
between us?
definitely a godmother now.
And there you
Yes,
go, you've got mother,
definitely a godmother to a little baby
and
now.
probably that's gonna make it'll be a different tie to the world at the start of the
Yeah.
next phase. You'll probably have a godchild, which will be a important person in your life. Um, Valentine and Florence, by the way, Jackson does come through. He gets you some documentation, some paperwork, in digging through it from Larkin's effects. In digging through it, you find very little of any use. It's everything he has seems to be around this expedition, getting to the pyramid. Um, some marginalia. You find some writings and little comments in the margins written, scrawled away in margin in his. It seems like when he's more drug addled, because the handwriting gets very shaky. But comments about uh, when I am more myself, um, I sometimes wonder, and then just dot 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 and
That's not my
stuff
cat.
like that. But you don't find anything that would be like really concrete, materially useful. I will throw each of you maybe a little hook in downtime about where you kind of how that all takes you, and something else you might learn. So Florence, for you, honestly, I think your perspective of this is more than I signed on for, I'm gonna give them their
Yeah.
money back, I think that's, you can talk us through that in a minute. But Valentine, I don't think you're giving up on the search. So as I say, I'll drop you something in the downtime about how that search may continue. um, Loveday, the your dad's business goes from strength to strength. Everything's great, life is good, but things are somewhat different for you, right? So what I'd like each of you to do now is give me just your first kind of initial thoughts on how your character has been affected, how each of you is affected by your experiences in Peru over the next 4 years. Okay. um how you feel like, and I don't know how you guys decide between yourselves, and maybe throw it out now, how much each of you in terms of grouping stay in contact. But Jackson definitely stays in contact with all of you. He makes like a concerted effort to, he sends you information about the next book he's writing. He when he's going through wherever you're living, he arranges a meet up for a coffee, and just to kind of go, are you feeling okay? Do you still have nightmares about it? That kind of thing, because he very much does. And seeing the creature in the hotel was very impactful to him. So he very much, he tries to be there for you all, tries to make sure he's kind of part of your life, to make sure that, you know, you helping him with his investigation and not just going home isn't just a net loss to you in your lives, right? He wants to try and kind of, you've come out with something. I'm here. I'll help you. I'll do what I can. Uh, you know, etc. So you build something of a relationship over the next 4 years with him. But then, so let's go around. I will start with maybe Love Day, right? Because I think quite an easy one for you where Love Day goes. But talk about a little bit about what your initial feelings are in terms of how things go for Loveday over the next 3 or 4 years.
I think as much as possible, she would prefer to just go back to her life and forget everything. But she's, I assume, carrying these horrible scars now on her face. So she's looking at the physical evidence in the mirror every single day. So she can't just put it behind her and breeze on, stiff upper lip and all that. She definitely sort of drops her interest in archaeological travel. She's not travelling very much at all. If she does, it's only to sort of flit across to Paris or something like that. But she very much feels a sense of, what's the best way to describe it? A sort of very, very spoilt responsibility for everybody else in the group for no reason whatsoever. But she now feels like it's kind of on her to check in, to write to everybody, to give them money if they need it, to pull strings if she can for them if they need it. So she will, if they're willing, be corresponding, keeping an ear out for what's going on, but very much sort of keeping London as her home base and not leaving the country too much at all.
So then I'm sensing from that then there's a lasting impact. This is maybe it hasn't changed her as a person who she is, but it's definitely changed her approach to life and her the little bit of the joie de vivre is
yes. And her cautious, she's cautious now for the first time in her life, which she's never ever had to be before.
Okay. And so we jump across then to Ruby Fontaine. How's the next few years go for you? And you can be as abstract or as detailed as you like.
I think for Ruby, she's definitely grown closer to Loveday following the events that happened. And she feels as though there's a connection there because only Loveday can really understand what she's seen. And she doesn't feel confident enough to talk to others about the events that happened in Peru. And during the time she's travelled about quite a bit, she loves to stay on the move, maybe nipped back to her birthplace of Manchester, but doesn't stay long. And yeah, just constantly trying to distract herself from what happened by drinking and partying as best she can to, forget the dramas that are running through her head, I guess.
Okay. Okay, good stuff. So then we'll go to Mihal. Mihal, with the assistance and the backing of the wealthy British socialite, I assume you don't publicize too much where you're getting your little bit of funding and your weaponry and things.
I suspect, given what's gone down, I don't think Mick is any. I think he's going to find it hard to get too involved in the real world, the politics of nationhood and all that stuff. I mean, he just saw the reality being ripped apart. I don't think he's going to be. I think he might have a little different perspective on the whole. Ireland must be free business. He probably would. I think he would probably set up whatever Loveday is willing to offer. He would set up contacts and stuff, but not get involved. I was thinking that possibly, because he's kind of got this kind of a default Roman Catholic faith, like a lot of Irish people. Mm-hmm. Like, it hasn't been shaken too much. I imagine this would shake it quite a bit. And he's also got his old interest in the fairies. And I do remember as well, he was the only one in the group who had read Jackson's book about cults. So
yep.
I was thinking, I don't know, is this not normally the way things are done? But I was thinking I would roll a dice, give him a 50-50 chance. He either goes hardcore Roman Catholic and like clings to that faith and maybe goes off to study to be a priest, or he ditches it and doubles down on the occult and maybe just lives a quiet life away from trouble, but maintains an interest.
Yeah, because you've definitely lived one foot in each of those worlds to some extent. I
think he would definitely get away from Ireland and England and all that stuff that's going on there, that world. I think
he's probably based in New York then.
He was, but I think he'd stay there because he cared about the cause. But I think now he wants to kind of shed his skin a bit. Yeah.
So you did your bit. You felt you'd fulfilled your obligations. You've got them what they needed a bit, but now you're kind of, but you don't want any part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So will I just roll a dice to see if he becomes a priest or tries to make
You
a
can
living?
do that. You make a choice. You toss a coin. You can roll a dice. Go for it.
Okay, so I roll a d10 and say if we say 5 or less, he keeps things simple, works with his hands, maybe joins the cops, as a lot of Irish people did, or just works as a mechanic. And 6 or above, he becomes a priest.
Okay.
Woohoo! He's a priest!
There's a priest on our
Goes
team!
into the
A
priesthood.
priest on our
Can
team!
you believe that they would take him?
Priest!
Father Michael.
Father
That's
Mike.
gonna be great.
Call me Father One-Eyed Mick.
So we will work out over the next little while before the next session how Mick gets into the seminary, how he kind of gets a bit of a fast track, good Irish Catholic. He's
Also,
gets,
has actually seen the devil, so... that's
yeah,
gotta
exactly. I've seen things and I know things and I know God
I've
is real.
seen the
'cause he
devil
wasn't-
and I killed him.
happen. And shot at him several times.
Because if God wasn't real,
Bit
the
by
devil
him.
couldn't
Took
be
my
either,
chest.
etc.
Actually, would they let you into the priesthood if you were like, a vampire bit my chest? He probably keeps it fairly...
He probably makes it more metaphorical, and like I've stared into the eyes of the devil, so I know God is real, etc., etc.
Yeah.
I've got the scars from my time as with my struggles, and they probably go, "Oh, allegory. He's recovering from being involved with drugs or something like that," and they probably
Yeah.
think it's a different kind of a troubled past. But yeah, but you mean it a bit more literally than they think. Okay, so we'll come through to that. Father Mick will sync up on how that goes. That's really good because as well that comes around to what I'm going to ask you guys to do next, which is tell me and come up over the next couple of days, send me some ideas of what kind of training you're doing over the next 4 years, because you're going to get a chance to develop some of your skills over the next 3 or 4 years. So by the time the next phase comes around, you'll have developed, but you'll probably also be somewhat more cautious investigators, and less inclined to charge in wild and gung ho. But certainly you'll have also gained some skills. Florence,
Yes.
how does Florence adapt over the next few years? Obviously, as you say, she's a godchild, but what else comes into her life for her?
So Florence has returned to Birmingham. Florence Harper has returned to the offices of Harper and Norris Investigations, where Evelyn Norris now has a little child wandering around the office, but we don't let them get involved in the crime or the crime investigations. Involve going back to investigating petty theft and fraud and maybe the occasional very normal murder and not this hectic stuff. I think she's still keeping in touch with everyone. I think Mihal, she's probably sent a number of letters to, because there's both the conflict of her lying but also some gratefulness that he did help her in her time of madness. I think with Valentine, there's the connection of the investigation, and then with Loveday and Ruby, I think she's fairly protective of both of them, given everything that they've gone through. Yes, so she was very... Before, she didn't believe in religion, she had no interest in any of that, she was very logic and sound science. I think in her spare time she is now reading into everything academic that she can find on the occult, because she's now not dismissive of it, so she wants to engage with it on an intellectual level. So that, I think that's what she's doing. But she's also forming very close connections with the people in her life who, she could have, if she had died, would have lost. So, reaffirming those connections with Evelyn and the baby.
Okay, super. And we come back. I have one more question for Florence, but it somewhat involves Michal as well, so we'll come back to that. And Valentine, how the next 3 or 4 years is it all consuming diving into finding out what happened to Dad, or is it the opposite, or how does she go forward from here?
Yeah, so I think sorry, I'm going to use my own voice because I'm talking about it in third person. So yeah, Valentine goes back to Paris, and goes back to her job at the newspaper that she's been working at, and like to a degree is still searching for her father. It's not all consuming, but she does dig deeper and deeper into Larkin and is kind of like creating the giant, wall board of putting all the connections together of how Larkin is linked to this person, and so keeps in contact with like Florence and Loveday especially to kind of help her put this network together. So it's kind of a side of the table project that she keeps going, because she just wants to figure out, like the journalistic part of herself wants to figure out what exactly is going on. Like there is a story here linked to her father, but there is a massive story as well. And kind of similar to Florence, like she's kind of keeping an ear out for the weirder happenings that go on in Paris and around the world, because she previously was a bit of an atheist, didn't really believe in anything, was very scientific. I didn't believe in religion or anything like that. I'd seen too much. But is now kind of keeping an ear out for, mysterious deaths, or, this thing went missing, or, another expedition went missing, and is kind of keeping track of all that as well.
Okay, super. And just as a group then, how do you all come to terms with, I'm sure en route back out of Puno, you guys talk about it a little bit. You probably various of you corresponding with each other. How do you address and how do you come to terms with the, like, I don't want to say failure, but knowing that maybe you didn't get done all you wanted to get done? Does it like, as you said, Ellie, it weighs on Loveday somewhat. It's kind of sucked some of the life, the energy out of her. Is it something that bears you down a little bit, or is it something that, look, it needs to be put aside, we go forward from here? Maybe catalyst, Mihal, maybe it's a bit of a catalyst what catapults you into the church. But how is it something, or is it just, no, I put it aside, look, we did what we could, we were lucky to get out alive?
I think for Florence, the whole thing with the lack of the completion phenomenon does weigh on her a bit. That is something that she thinks about. But with the sheer amount of danger that they were in, and the difficulty of the situation, she does try to put that aside. But I think it does linger in the back of her mind from time to time.
Yeah, I think Valentine is quite annoyed at having lost the trail, the information trail. Probably a bit more so, and a bit annoyed that the others wanted to give up. But she's kind of used to putting herself in risky situations and doesn't quite feel emotions the same way other people do. So she would have been happy to kind of continue on. So so she does, want to continue the work when she goes back, because she sees it as a personal failure.
Okay.
Mihal, I think, is just glad to be gone. Never had a real sense of, whatever the goblin equivalent of global warming is, the bigger thing. I think all he knew was that monsters were trying to kill him, and came quite close to doing so. Now he's out of Peru. I think things are probably going to be fine.
Okay,
he has left with more sanity than he went in. So I think he's like, that's done.
Okay, good stuff.
I think,
Ruby?
yeah, I think for Ruby, she's quite angry at herself for allowing her emotions to get the better of her, and and cower in fear at the sight of these monsters in front of her. I think she was hoping she would hold it together a bit more. So it's definitely playing on her mind.
Did she do anything to address her trauma in any way, or is
No,
it
you
still
just
just shut
drink.
it down and
Yeah,
keep
just
going?
just drink herself silly and party and do what she can to distract from the events. Yeah.
Okay, and Loveday? I think you've covered it with your
Yeah, I think she definitely doesn't feel like she left anything uncompleted. She was like, I nearly got eaten. Nearly had like a maggot crawl into my face. I did pretty good to get out of that, to be honest. But it's more just the kind of the group. Like she worries about the group. She's like, I'm fine. Like mentally, I'm absolutely fine. But what if the others aren't? And so she like displaces all of her own serious emotional trauma onto everybody else.
Okay, cool. And in terms of healing, the acid burns on your face and neck, almost entirely gone. Maybe a tiny trace down on the side of the neck. But for your whole life, you're gonna have acid burns down the hand where you squashed that maggot and that larva. So you've got kind of got serious scarring and mottled skin permanently on that hand. So I don't know how she reacts to that. Maybe wears a glove or something, or starts wearing long gloves.
Wears a lot of gloves and tells a lie about encounters with poisonous rainforest frogs.
Okay, cool.
Gloves are very stylish.
Mihal, over the course of weeks, possibly even months, weeks into months, you build back up your muscle mass, and your attributes can return to what they were before. Okay. Now, there is one outstanding question then in terms of wrap up from what happened there. Florence, how much time do you spend with the mask? Or did you really give it to me? And when I say really, I mean, yes, you think you gave it to me all, but somewhere deep down in your unconscious you kept it. Okay? But you can, because it's in terms here I'm giving, because it's 4 years and it's a big break. You player agency, you can have given it to Mihal, okay? Or you can have, I gave it to Mihal, but actually she went away with it in her bag, and Mihal's kind of going, it's really weird. She said she was going to give it to me, and then she just took it away with her.
So everything about Florence's interaction with this mask was she wanted it a million miles away from her. If there was anyone who was going to take it away, she was going to get rid of it. She was offering everyone to take it. So I think she gave it to Mihal properly. And if he was going to take it away, then yeah,
Okay.
she let him. In fact,
So
she wanted him.
You're saying you put the mental effort in. You
Yeah.
absolutely did not allow any kind of unconscious hook. It was a few pure concerted effort of will. You gave it to Mihal. Okay. Mihal, how much time did Mihal spend with this mask? Or is it in a drawer somewhere?
Mihal locked this mask away somewhere very safe until... I mean, how far along are we talking? Because I think eventually he's going to be speaking to archbishops and people fairly high up in the priesthood.
So,
I think he would be tempted to bring it to them.
we'll be 4 years in, and I would say at this point maybe Mihal is making inquiries. He's getting to the point now where you're fully fledged priest in your own right. You've probably been briefly to the Vatican. You've made a little trip over. You're starting to make some real connections. Okay. And yes, the intention is, there's people in the church that deal with this kind of thing. Okay. You're trying to find out who. You're making subtle inquiry, because again, you don't want to come right out and go, yeah, you see it's from a vampire eating meat, my friend has acid scars from where a larva tried to get, and the devil came out the window to get us, and the mask drove my friend crazy, and etc. Right? So you're subtly trying to work your way to a point where you can work out who in the church hierarchy is the right person to bring it to go, I need help. You need to take this. Someone needs to put this somewhere where it'll never be taken and used by the wrong people, because church, you've the wrong books all locked away. You've the wrong all the wrong juju all locked away, and you're the people who are saving the world from this stuff, right? So I would say you haven't got to the point yet where you've worked out who to address and who to go to with it, but you're making progress. You're
Okay.
yeah, you're on that road.
It did just occur to me, and I'll say it just in case it's relevant. I think Miho would be aware that de Mendoza knows all of our names,
Yes.
and they telegrammed us all at the beginning of the
Yes.
thing. So I think Miho probably sleeps with a gun under his pillow.
Cool. I'm guessing he might not be the only one.
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Yep.
But at no
I have a
point did
candle at all
Mihal
times.
actually look at the mask or examine it in the way that Florence said
Well,
she
he's
did.
put it on before. When I think, if I remember right, when we first got it, I'm pretty sure I put it on because that's the type of fucking thing I've been doing the whole way through this game, and it didn't have any effect on him. He's got a very high sanity. That's probably why, I don't know. But
Mm-hmm.
so, I mean, as far as he's concerned, nothing happens when you put it on.
Yeah, cool.
I don't know. He might at some point, but
I mean,
think
you
we're
did
generally
witness the
okay.
crazy episode, but
Yeah.
maybe you just think that that's
So
Yeah,
for
that's
now,
just
you've
you know?
just been that she's just a bit cray cray, but there's something spooky about it. So I need to get it to the right people. So it's in a drawer. You haven't gone.
Yeah, he might not be that. He might not be
Yeah.
that focused on it. You
Yeah.
know, like
Okay.
he doesn't think it's a.
And probably that's why it hasn't really had an impact on him. And it's a the hooks just aren't there. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Great stuff. Okay. So that's super. 1925. If we all turn to our cork board, we have. I've moved aside all the stuff about the. It's been neatened up for me and everything. I've moved aside all the stuff about the Peru pyramids, etc. And in the top left corner now, you'll see a telegram. Okay, January 1925. You receive a telegram from Jackson Elias. Each of you have information concerning Carlisle expedition. Stop. Need reliable investigative team. Stop. Meet January 15, New York. Stop. Okay. And you can tell from the markings and from the information on this telegram that it is a shipborne telegram. So it's been sent by someone aboard a ship. So Jackson Elias has sent it from shipboard. Okay. And each of you, for whatever reason, for your own, connection with Jackson and the way he's spent the last few years kind of cultivating you as friends, and for your shared experience and your shared trauma together, you've decided to go to New York and meet Jackson on the 15th of January. And that's where we'll start the next session. It'll be 15th of January, New York City, and we'll talk a bit before there. You can each maybe talk through your process, maybe your logic for why you've gone, but more if it's resurfacing anything for you as you arrive at the meeting place where you're going to meet Jackson, and how you feel as you guys regroup and gather together for the first time as a full group since the catastrophic events of Peru 1921. and Loveday. Carlisle expedition. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So it's something you'd actually heard of.
Maybe the only useful piece of information Loveday has ever had.
Great stuff. Thank you very much, folks. That ran a little longer than I thought. I thought we were almost done when we took our break.
Okay, thanks everybody.
Thank
Thank
you. It's been
you.
great fun.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, folks.
Thank you as well to everyone who watched this. Hope you're having as much of a blast as we all are, and you're ready to keep watching these bright young things on their wild adventures. Subscribe if you want to keep track of when an episode drops, and go ahead and drop us a like if you think we deserve it. Any and all interaction welcome, as I mentioned earlier. I'm looking forward to any pointers, reminders, questions in the comments. Just remember, no spoilers, please. And with that, we'll see you next week.